don't even know where to begin. Oh, the days of frying in water. The sheer quantity of bananas. Why so many? I just can't believe I had that many bananas. Oh, those brownies look good. A whole packet of mango orange juice as a snack, so I'll probably just finish it. Orange juice is not a snack, it's a drink. But why was I frying them in water? There is no milk in the porridge. Need I say more? Today I'm going to take a trip down memory lane and seriously embarrass myself by watching my old What I Eat in a Day videos. If you've been watching me for a long time, you've probably seen one of my What I Eat in a Day videos, and you've probably noticed how much my eating habits have changed. When I started YouTube, I definitely had a lot of diet culture still roaming around in my head, and I was following diets that I really would not recommend now, and I was eating in a way that is so alien to me as well. And I've spoken about it a lot online. I've changed my approach to food. I have gained a much healthier relationship with food, which I'm so happy about. But I just thought it would be entertaining, kind of funny to see how much that has changed and actually face up to the reality of how I used to eat, because it's been a while. Before we get into the video, I do want to put out a massive trigger warning and disclaimer. If you are struggling with an eating disorder or disordered eating, then those topics will be coming up throughout this video, so please click out. I don't want anybody to get inspiration or feel triggered by anything that I'm showing. I've privated a lot of these videos for a reason, because I think they're harmful and I think that they aren't showing a healthy relationship with food, and I'm only going to be bringing them up today in context of me pointing that out. So just putting that out there, this is for entertainment purposes only, and if you are struggling, please don't watch this video. So let's start with the first What I Eat in a Day that I ever uploaded. This is from the 6th of March 2016, and it is private. So let's find out why I privated it. I think it's because I'm eating some crazy amounts of smoothies and fruit, I don't know, but I'm excited to watch this. Oh my gosh, that font. I remember that font. Good morning, it's the... Oh my gosh. That hairstyle, who remembers that hairstyle? Who's been around since that hairstyle? I'm actually running a little late, so I've got to quickly make some cereal because all of our bananas are really green, which is really annoying. I hate when that happens because we've been away, we haven't been able to sort of go shopping in preparation. Back in the day when bananas ruled my life, and if they weren't ripe, then I had to have cereal. Oh no. So this right here just about sums up the world of high carb, low fat back in the day, back in, you know, the era of veganism when it was all about freely and eating all the fruit and having massive smoothies, and I got sucked into that world pretty bad. As you can tell, I used to go to Aldi and outbuy all of the bananas from the shop, and people would look at me like I was insane. One woman actually even asked me, saying, do I work at a monkey sanctuary, or because there's a monkey sanctuary in Lou. She said to me, do you work at the monkey sanctuary? Like, are these for some animals? Do you have some pets at home? And I was like, no, these are for me. Sort of less ripe, but we got some wheat shreds, and then we got some tasty and wholesome Nature's Path organic oats, no, organic O's. And maple sunrise. Oh my gosh, I remember that cereal. I love that cereal. A glass. I'm gonna pour myself a bowl of that. So there it is. Got the 3 different types of cereal in there, with some frozen berries, some almond milk, and loads of sugar. I don't even know where to begin. Why am I having loads of sugar like that on my cereal? Why have I got 3 kinds of cereal? Like, no hate to anyone who has that much sugar on their cereal, but I know how much sugar I would put on this, because I was definitely thinking at that point that sugar was like a diet food. Like, I know that sounds absolutely crazy, and maybe some of you didn't experience that world, but back then there was a whole movement around high carb, low fat, where sugar, even from processed sugar and fruit, was good for you, and it was something that I would have to add calories so that I could get enough food. But I know how I felt after eating this kind of meal, and it wasn't good, and it's just bonkers to me. Now I would have some sugar to flavour it to make it taste sweet, but that was a lot of sugar.
I just finished work. I totally forgot to film my lunch because I'm just totally not used to.
That's a good start to what I ate a day, not filming the lunch.
I had 2 potatoes with some high carb Hannah's cheese sauce.
Shout out High Carb Hannah.
In the description below if anyone's interested. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of that before. It's just like a no-fat vegan cheese sauce basically. It's really delicious. Now I'm starving, so I rang Alex and told him to cook me some rice, put some rice on so I can have that as a snack.
And this is something that I find really problematic. I remember those days. I used to work for my mum and I used to have cereal or a smoothie for breakfast and then something like as simple as potatoes and cheese sauce for lunch. And I would be so hungry, even though the calories were adding up and I was eating enough on paper, I would be so starving that when I got home from work at like 5:30ish, I would have to have like a meal before dinner because I would be so hungry. And I remember the sensation of like, I was so hungry that I would make Alex make me some rice. I'd have like plain rice with soy sauce before I had dinner. And that is not normal. Like I don't experience that anymore because I eat balanced and I'll have a snack if I'm hungry. Whereas back then I had such a strict and restricted way of eating that I couldn't have a snack because it had oil in it or it had fat, and my snack would be fruit, which wouldn't fill me up. And it's just, yeah, it's kind of sad.
All of my food.
Oh my gosh,
so
I missed that red hot sauce. So yeah, this is what I would do. I'd have rice.
Good lighting. So it's just like a very simple.
I'm even making fun of myself.
I'm really hungry, so.
But yeah, I would have like a bowl of rice with hot sauce and soy sauce because back then I would think, oh, I can't add like avocado or actual food that would fill me up to this meal because it's high in fat or it's got oil. It was such a restricted mindset, and even though I talked a lot about how I'd recovered from my eating disorder, this period of time I think of as the time I had really bad disordered eating and orthorexia because my eating disorder had recovered in some ways, but it had developed into another form of restriction, which, yeah, I'm sure lots of you remember these days, or maybe you went through something similar. Oh, the days of frying in water. I'm so sorry to those of you who are encouraged to do that. You don't need to fry your food in water, you can fry it in oil.
Alex is cooking, as you can see. My spices happening here. He's making chana masala.
Chana masala, yum. That does look pretty tasty. More rice. That's the sort of meal I would eat now though. That looks really delicious. This one is private, so let's find out what's going on in this video. This video is from the 9th of August 2016, so really similar time. Here, we've got ourselves a big mango smoothie.
For breakfast, I'm going to have a smoothie, and here is my banana.
The sheer quantity of bananas. Why so many? That is insane.
Banana station. Oh, come on. I'm gonna grab some bananas. They're nice and...
I really hope I don't put all of those into the
I'm not sure how many I'll add, but I normally just add in however many bananas I fancy into here. Normally about a bunch. It's normally about a bunch.
I just can't believe I had that many bananas.
I will squeeze some fresh oranges, and I think I will today. So I'll grab 3 of these. It's either 3 or 4, again, depending how I feel. So I think I'm going to grab 3 today and blend it all together. So I think I'm going to...
Oh, we're adding more fruit,
are we? Either do half a packet or a whole packet, depending on how hungry I am and what I'm having for lunch. So I want to have a lot of fruit today and this morning, so I think I'm going to add the entire packet.
That to me looked like about 3 or 4 bananas and a whole packet of frozen mangoes. To be fair, the mango from Aldi was like the best frozen mango ever. The whole blender!
Compost your fruit.
Yeah, that looks like 4 bananas maybe.
Just trying to finish off my smoothie before I leave for work. So I'm going to put this in my backpack. Here's the leftover of my smoothie. And then,
so I just think if I'm trying to finish it off before work and I'm taking extra with me, that's purely, that must be an indication that it's too much smoothie. But back then I definitely used to feel like smoothies were the gold standard of food. Like that was the most healthy option and the best option. And I would try so hard to follow Raw Till 4 and have smoothies for lunch and breakfast and struggle so much doing that. And I would fail doing that because all I wanted was savoury food. And I also remember how bad my digestion was. Like, I am not going to go into detail, but if anyone has done this and drank a lot of smoothies, you are going to the toilet constantly, which is so embarrassing. I mean, my body was telling me, it was telling me this is not right, and I still did it. I still listened to somebody else instead of my own body. So that's a message to anybody. If your body is telling you, I'm not happy with this, listen to it. And then I'm going to bung in these bananas. And on Fridays, I finish early, so that's why I'm not packing like a full-on lunch, because often on Fridays I just take a smoothie and then like a snack, so like extra fruit, and then when I come home I eat something more substantial, or I see how I feel, because I really do think it's a good thing to have. Well, I personally really enjoy having like a day where I eat raw food, or mostly raw, like having smoothies, and every time I do it I feel great, and then I forget to do it because I'm lazy, and I just think, because you're not lazy, or I typically make myself something for lunch, so I need to be aware that I need to eat more because it's raw food and it's not as high in calories. I also have some kiwis at work, so I'll probably eat all of those, and I will take my camera and show you. So I'm all dressed in my cycling gear. So that whole spiel there, like, I can see some of the logic of what I'm saying, but also it's just like not true. I used to be so hungry, it didn't make me feel better. I know how I was feeling back then, and I know that I was really trying to convince myself that this was the diet for me and that this is the way that was the best way to eat. And the reality is just totally different, because I wasn't being intuitive. I was forcing myself to do something that I saw other people do and succeed on that isn't necessarily going to be the case for me. And every time I tried to do Raw Till 4, I failed because I would be so starving. But I did used to love cycling to and from work. I kind of miss doing that. That was so much fun.
Yeah, I've like looked at recipes online, and a lot of them involve a lot of olive oil and pine nuts, which I don't have. I'm just gonna sort of make the sauce and taste it and see what it sort of tastes like. So I think I'm gonna use about 3 avocados.
This is an avocado pesto.
I'm gonna add some spinach in it for extra healthiness.
But I bet you I'm not gonna put olive oil in there.
Mushrooms in it, and then put fresh avocados, sorry, fresh tomatoes on top, so raw tomatoes on top, and also about 3 cloves of garlic in there. And I'm gonna cook it all with linguine and also with salt and pepper. So it's a really simple recipe. I'll show you exactly how I do it and all the amounts when I'm doing it. And then also, before that though, because that's quite a quick and easy thing to make, I'm gonna make my mum some brownies. So I've got this Jamie Oliver recipe here, and it's very, very simple. It's just like chocolate, oil, sugar, and milk. Yeah, eating heavily raw. I don't know what it is. I get hungry, like I was really hungry by the time I came home, but I feel more energetic, so I kind of want to do it maybe like a few times a week and see how it affects how I feel, and see how it affects like weight loss and all of that. But I'll update you and I'll see how it goes. Now I'm going.
Also, I was so obsessed with weight loss and being good at cycling and performance and all of this, and it's just, I don't know, it isn't a mindset that I can relate to anymore.
Some orange juice as a snack, so I'll probably just finish the rest
Orange juice is not a snack, it's a drink.
I need 5 tablespoons.
These brownies look pretty delicious.
3 avocados, a lemon, salt and pepper, 3 cloves of garlic, and a handful of spinach and a whole bunch of basil. And I'm going to put that all in the food processor. So there's all the ingredients ready to blend. Look at that colour. So I added an extra avocado just because I thought why not, might as well, and I also added a little bit extra basil in just there at the end, but so that's 4 avocados. And now I'm going to chop up the mushrooms and the chopped tomatoes. And I'm
My phone is so broken.
In a separate little pan whilst I heat up the
mushroom obsession was there even back in the day.
water to boil up the linguine.
But why was I frying them in water? They taste so much. You can't put water and fry mushrooms. You can't, because the mushrooms have so much water in them anyway. You want to reduce the mushrooms so they don't have as much water in them.
It is. You know it's good brownies when it's got the cracks in the top.
Oh, those brownies look good.
Amazing.
That looks pretty delicious. I would eat that today, except I would add olive oil. I think that's all I ate. That's not, I don't know, that's weird to me because there's no lunch there. I guess I used the excuse that I was coming home early, that's the food for the day. I'm sure that it met my caloric needs for the day because it was a lot of smoothie, but I know that I would have been starving hungry, and I know that when I used to eat that way, it was kind of like, I'd feel great in the morning and then I'd have this period of time throughout the day where I'd just be like so hungry and then just like absolutely desperate to eat dinner, and then I would overeat on dinner, and it's just not something that I would want to do today. I think for a change today I'm actually going to make porridge. That's really like, it's like knows it's coming into winter now, because I only ever crave porridge when it's coming into autumn winter. Porridge, yes. None of our bananas are that right. I still adore porridge. Oh my god, do we have maple syrup? I had porridge for breakfast this morning. So we have all of these, but they're just not as good. They aren't as good. I'm going to the store and see if my mum has any maple syrup. No, I should probably use these, shouldn't I? I seriously miss living with my parents, because if I ever forgot anything, if I ever hadn't got any food, I could just nip and get some from them, because we lived in the annex of my parents' house. They used to rent out as a holiday home, and it was so great. If I ever was running out of stuff, I'd just be like, Mum, please can I have some maple syrup?
Okay, so here it is. You can tell how much is in there because this is really quite a large bowl. That's probably about double that I should be having. I'm not going to eat all this. Oops, I'm just going to add a banana and some berries on top and a sprinkle of cinnamon and this sweet freedom stuff.
That looks very delicious. I would have that today.
Hello, I'm back from work and it's time for dinner. I didn't film what I had for lunch.
I seem to just have an issue. Why don't I film my food when it's YE in a day?
Because it sucked. I had the oatmeal this morning, as you saw. I didn't eat half of it because it was far too much, as I suspected. And then for lunch, because I suck and I keep on doing this where I don't prepare myself lunch.
Who else hates lunch? I hate lunch. Like, unless I have a fully stocked fridge, then I struggle to make proper lunch, and I struggled when I used to go to work every day. I'd be like, I don't know what to have for lunch. Maybe I need to do some more lunch videos for everybody, because I'm sure some of you are the same.
And it's so bad, I need to get into the habit of actually preparing myself lunch, because all I had was 6 bananas, which is not...
All I had was 6 bananas. All! Need I say more?
The best thing to have, because I was starving by the time I came home, which is now. We're going to make falafels. I did just have a San Pellegrino though, so that's giving me a little bit of a sugar hit. But yeah, we're going to make falafel, I think. Either falafel burgers or just actual falafels. I'm going to have to get back to you on this one to see if we actually can make falafels or not, because I'm definitely not putting oil in them, because...
Why not?
Because I'm not, because I don't eat oil.
Why not?
If I can avoid it, I eat it when I go out and like with junk food and stuff, but I wouldn't add it to my food personally when I made food at home. But if not, we'll make curry.
I'm judging you, Maddie. Why? Please tell me why. I know that there are still a lot of people probably watching who are in the no oil group. Each to their own, you do you, but I personally don't do this anymore because I think that it is restrictive for me. It is something that's a bit obsessive around health, and olive oil is really good for you, and using some of it to cook with is not going to do you any harm. And this idea of junk food and eating out, that mindset doesn't help me these days. I don't like having a separation between, you know, I'm eating junk food and I'm eating healthy food. I just eat food, and it doesn't matter whether I'm out or whether I'm at home. It's all the same. I try to eat intuitively. I try to eat healthily. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I emotionally sometimes. I sometimes have intrusive thoughts, but my general way of looking at food is so different. I would never refer to food as like, or at least I would try my hardest never to refer to food as junk food and healthy food. and polarize them like that, because all food can be healthy in different ways depending on how you have them. So I like to think of food as healthy and wholesome. When it makes me feel nourished, it makes me feel good. So healthy food can be a hot chocolate as much as it can be a nice salad, because they both provide you with something that you need in that moment. Hurry. But we'll see. Okay, so I realised we have coconut milk, which I feel like it'll be the same. Yeah, so we're gonna do the ones from here. I have a full video on it, so check that out because it goes into more detail about how I made it. Yeah, no fried falafels. It's got chickpeas, chili, coconut cream, flax seeds, cumin, coriander, garlic, onion, salt, pepper, lemon. I feel like the one thing that hasn't changed is I did used to share in detail how I made my meals, and I feel like that showed the future of my channel, that I wanted to show people how to cook plant-based meals. Even if I was following a recipe, I really enjoyed showing that process of cooking, and I enjoyed cooking, and the fact that I had to cut out oil or eat a certain way used to kind of bother me. I'd be like, I want to eat in the way that I eat, you know, with my family and stuff, and I get to experiment so much more now I don't have those restrictions. That looks pretty yummy, I'd eat that. And now I'll just prepare some pittas, some salad, and that's it really, and some harissa, and wait for them to all be cooked. The excitement is real for this dinner. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for it, I'm so hungry. Okay, so that's that video. That wasn't terrible, but I mean, having 6 bananas for lunch, not so sure about that. Okay, so this is from October 2016, and I know that at this time I was on a mission to lose weight, and I have privated this video because I think that I was sharing a lot about how I was trying to lose weight. I was showing before and afters, and I'm not against that if someone chooses to do that. Like I said, I don't like to judge anybody for what they choose to eat or how they choose to go about things. If you're on a mission and a journey to lose weight, then that is, you know, your choice and your decision. I just wouldn't personally promote it on my channel anymore because I don't know where anyone else is coming from, and I don't want to trigger anybody. Nowadays, I tend to look at my life far more holistically than being like, I'm gonna lose weight, so I'm gonna do da-da-da-da-da. I try to look at my life more like, I'm going to be healthier all round in my body and soul. I'm going to meditate, I'm going to do yoga, I'm going to cook nourishing meals, I'm going to slow down, and there might be positive results from that health-wise for me physically and mentally, and it's less about the focus on weight. And I think that's far more beneficial for everybody, because then you gain positives that don't always show on the scale. So maybe you feel better in your head, maybe you're having better relationships with people, maybe your digestion gets better, and it's far more focused on being intuitive with your body. Maybe you do lose weight, but there's far more outcomes as a result of you taking care of yourself in general, rather than just like focusing on one thing. I'm going to cut my calories and I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week and da-da-da-da. That's exhausting. And I just don't like doing that kind of thing anymore. I try and bring myself back to a holistic, all-round, I'm going to take care of myself viewpoint, which I know lots of you already know about. But yeah, let's see what I was eating in this video. I think this will have to be the last one because I've been filming for a long time. Porridge, delicious. Though, did I just have water with that porridge? Let's wind that back. There is no milk in the porridge. What is going on? I think this was in the days of wslf. Does anybody remember? So this is the extremes I would go on. I was high carb, low fat, hclf. I was wslf, what is wslf? I don't even remember. Whole starch, low fat, that's it. So high carb, low fat is basically a focus on higher carbs, a lot of focus on fruits for your energy and smoothies and raw. And then WSLF is whole starch, low fat. And I became obsessed with this. I became hooked on the idea that the fruit thing wasn't working because I would get hungry. So instead I would focus on starches, because starches are like slower burning carbohydrates. They keep you fuller for longer. However, the restriction level on this diet is so unhealthy. I remember those days and it really got into such a negative, it triggered me. I think that high carb, low fat was something that I could kind of have a bit of leeway with, but this became such a diet and it became really, really difficult because I was focusing on the minute details. And there was a Facebook group that I was a part of that was filled with women like me, young girls who had histories of eating disorders and disordered eatings, who are desperate to lose weight and desperate to find something that would work. And I would see posts on there where people would say, hi, I'm trying to lose weight, it's not really working for me, here's what I'm eating in the day. And the replies would be, try not having milk in your porridge, try not having avocado with your rice, try not putting nuts and seeds on your porridge. And I just so wholeheartedly disagree with that kind of feedback, because you're nitpicking tiny little points of somebody's day. And I just think that in general is not healthy to nitpick about every minute detail of how you're eating. And it was obsessive, but I just think that whole way of eating and that diet is, I just think it's restrictive and very dangerous for somebody who has a history with an eating disorder. So this porridge would be great if it had milk in it. Plant milk, of course. That looks like a really, really delicious lunch. I would eat that today. Maybe this wasn't the whole starch low fat days because I've got avocado on there, which is definitely not allowed. Or maybe it's allowed in small amounts. But that, I would literally eat, I ate something similar to that yesterday. Again, that looked pretty delicious. So maybe my rant about whole starch didn't apply to that video, because that looked like a very delicious, more balanced I think than the high carb low fat, because I was actually eating lunch. That's far more of a well-rounded day that I would eat similarly to today. Okay, I really want to finish the video with this one because it's called Why I Gave Up My Diet and What I Ate Today. So let's see what diet it was that I gave up. This has also been privated. So we've got muesli, that looks yummy. Muesli and granola. Both those recipes are in my ebook, Versatile Vegan. That looks delicious. Some of you might be wondering about WSLF. I don't know how many of you have been paying attention to this, but at the start of the month I started a WSLF 30-day challenge, which basically is whole starch, low fat, no processed foods, no oils, no sugar, just sticking to whole foods like starches, so brown rice, potatoes, sweet potato, and lots of vegetables and oats and that type of thing. And I started off really well, 2 weeks flat out, amazing. Definitely noticed a difference if you watch that video. I definitely lost a bit of weight and bloating, even if it was just water weight. I felt great. And then I started to work on my ebook and it kind of all went out the window. So the video that I'm referring to, I'm pretty sure that I just completely deleted. I don't know why I didn't just private it. I like to keep my videos so I can sort of watch them back one day. But the video I'm talking about is a video where I showed my sort of before and after and my results on WSLF. And I had lost some weight because I was not eating as much food as I usually would have, and I was showing the process behind it, but I think I'm going to talk about now why I couldn't keep it up, because like every single diet out there, they are not sustainable. My ebook, I was finishing off my ebook, I was preparing a lot of food, taking a lot of pictures, and then we had a huge amount of food that week because I was just cooking so much, and there was loads of cookies and cake and just lots of meals that involved things like noodles or white rice or things that didn't fit within what I had planned to do for the 30 days. And I probably should have considered this when I started. I just totally forgot that I was bringing my ebook out and didn't really think about the logistics of the fact that I would have all of this food that wouldn't necessarily fit into WSLF. Very little food does. That I would have to eat. So yeah, I was eating brownies and cookies and cakes and muffins and all that type of stuff, which was all delicious and amazing. Yeah, I just want to kind of highlight that if things don't go to plan how you wanted them to, and they didn't work out exactly, like you set yourself a 30-day challenge and you had a coffee, or you went out to eat one night or whatever. I also had my birthday during this and I went out to eat and it was delicious, and I had friends round and we ate a whole feast. And yeah, you shouldn't treat it like a diet which is strict and you can't go outside of it. You want to treat it as, this is a challenge that I'm
trying to do to sort of incorporate healthier habits into my life. And if I have a day where I have a chocolate bar, if I go out to eat, it doesn't matter, just the next meal I can make healthy again. So I agree with a lot of what I was saying there. I'm glad that I was highlighting that you shouldn't treat diets as so polarizing as one day you're dieting, the next day you're not, and you should experience life to the fullest and enjoy the process of writing my ebook and creating all the recipes and enjoy going out to eat for dinner. But the problem with that still is that I'm categorizing my diet and then my life, and you need to blend the two. Diets in the traditional sense where you're cutting certain things out don't work because you're not living sustainably according to how you would do your day-to-day life. It's much better to just live your life, eat wholesome food, eat healthy food that you enjoy, and have the whole host of foods within that range of health and wellness, rather than categorizing them as separate two things, because that's what caused binges for me, that's what caused me flip-flopping, and that's what caused this unhealthy mindset. And even though I said I felt good, I know that I felt good, I know that I feel good eating plant foods, I know that I feel good eating whole foods. I'm not demonizing that kind of diet or lifestyle. Like, I genuinely think that that makes me feel the best when I eat whole foods and stuff, but it doesn't have to be that restrictive. Some of you might be out there thinking, well, I've got this health issue and high carb, low fat, or wslf, or whole food plant-based has helped me, and I can't speak for you. So if that's happened to you, then that's incredible, and I'm so happy for you, genuinely. But I'm talking from my own perspective as somebody who experienced a pretty severe eating disorder for 5-6 years of my life, and went on to experience another form of eating disorder and disordered habits, and has had a very long standing relationship that has been extremely negative when it comes to food. So things like this don't help me, and I know that that's the case for so many people. I'm coming from a place of a young girl who's fit and healthy, perfectly, you know, well, and someone who's trying to seek something to lose weight and to find control in her life. And that's the sad part, and that's the part that I'm seeing here that is difficult to watch, if I'm being honest. This lunch is, again, something I probably would eat today. It does look delicious. Oh, this dinner, I want to make this again soon. This is in my first ebook, Versatile Vegan. It's so delicious. See here, Alex had coconut rice. I wouldn't have the coconut rice because it's got fat in it and it's white rice, so I had to have brown rice. Yeah, I feel like I've ranted about this enough, and this video is getting very long. Okay, so we're finished with watching these videos. These are all from 2016, back when I first started my YouTube channel, and I just want to say to anybody who is going through kind of diet culture or trying to escape that disordered eating mindset, that you can overcome it. You've just got to keep pursuing and keep pushing to have a healthy outlook on food. Try and not think of food as good or bad or polarizing like that, and think of it more as, you know, food is food. It gives you nutrients, it gives you energy, and it provides you with so much more than weight loss. So I don't want anybody to get that from my videos anymore. I want to share wholesome meals and food that's going to make you feel good, but also balanced. And while none of these videos were particularly terrible in terms of like me restricting my calories or really going over the top, some of you might watch this and think, what's wrong with this? I don't understand why she's upset with these videos. I don't see the problem. And you have to remember that I'm coming from my perspective in my head, and I know the headspace that I was in then, and hindsight is a powerful thing. When you look back at yourself, you can see the pain and you can see the things that were going on in your head at the time. And I know that my obsession was still around food and weight loss, and that is sad. I know that there will be people out there who can relate to this time, or who have been through similar diets, even if they're different ones, where you're convincing yourself that it's healthy and it's good for you and you feel great, when in reality, in hindsight, when you look back, you were still in a controlled headspace. And I definitely was at that time. I mean, I was not on YouTube when I was in the depths of my eating disorder. I don't want to diet anymore. I just want to eat food and enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you want me to do another one, because there's so many more what I eat in a day videos. I'm going to end this video here. Sorry it was so long, but there was a lot to go through.
Make sure you're subscribed, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!